assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the low to mid 60s. Clear skies tonight. Overnight low in the low to mid 40s. Wednesday, sunshine. Our high will be in the low 70s. And more sunshine back with us on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. Listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I would just say I'm not set for the priesthood or taking one of those vows. I just don't know how they do it.
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts, but he's done it in 6 dominating innings. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Zonet's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague Lodge fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So State with the number 1 team in the country and get to hang out for a few hours here in our headquarters of ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com with the one and only Matt Jones and the highly educated C Unit.
C Education.
That is exactly right. I always love coming and doing the show in the studio because I get to mess around with Ty Richardson a little bit, which is easy. Matt, I mean, like you and Christian and Colton and Cindy and Miss Betty and Lance and Tommy and Miss Rita and Christy that spend all the time here during the day. Man, I'm envious that you get to hang out with Ty during the day.
The only reason I show up to work.
You get the little nuggets that he didn't know who Huey Lewis in the News was. I mean, I didn't even realize. I look at the text line on a show up. I see something about Huey Lewis in the News. Just move on from it. How do you not know who that is? He's seen all the Back to the Future movies, so it doesn't make any sense to me.
Do you think it's a correlation of not knowing stuff to not having a girlfriend? Like maybe if you learn a couple things, it could help you get a lady?
Does knowledge lead to game, the proverbial game?
Surely, right? Like acting like you don't know anything your whole life doesn't get you too far, right?
It's funny, too, because the idea of being confident is what I was always told is going to help with with whichever sex you choose to try to attract. And he's confident.
That's a good point. Whichever sex. He was out in San Francisco. Have we found out anything about that?
I just know he's as happy as he's ever been.
Good. I'm happy. I'm pretty happy too, man. Life's good.
I feel great. I feel great attitudes every time I walk into through these doors these days. Spring is in the air. That's what it is. It's not the
spring
April
is sprung. It gets kind of springy. That's right.
It really has. That's the situation. I mean, like you see in these photos now that people are putting out celebrating the end of their seasonal depression. Did you realize that's what it was, Matt? It was seasonal depression. It was, it was an actual scientific reason for why you might have felt 2 months ago or a month ago why you were feeling. You weren't getting enough vitamin D in your sunlight.
One of my favorite Portlandia episodes, Carrie Brownstein's character, she's like, I'm so glad the spring's here because in the wintertime I'm on 3 antidepressants, and then when the spring gets here, I'm down to 1.
Right, yeah. And really, your antidepressant is just the sun up in the sky right now. Isn't that making you feel better? Of course it is.
My lily white skin.
You felt like crap last week, didn't you? When it was when you couldn't see the sun for 4 or 5 days. So welcome to great feelings for the remainder of the next, well, until daylight savings goes away. I don't even know when that is, but let's not worry about it. Happy end of the basketball season too.
Ooh, oh. Okay, I told you. We
exactly the way so many of these games went.
We would dissect the last 2 minutes of this game. Like that's how it would be. I thought it would come down to the end, and I don't know. Hindsight's 20/20, Phil. I thought you should pass the ball in bounds, dribble it up to or at least half court to somewhere wherever you want to take it out up top. And then what are we taught in the 8th grade, 7th grade? When you pump fake and you get that shooter in the air, all you got to do is lean into him and shoot it, and you're shooting 3 free throws. Like I just. You hate it for the kid, honestly. You actually hate. It's like fumbling the ball when you don't want to. It's like just make the right decision was right there to be made.
Was it a panic moment? Do you think? Remember, I
think because there was so much time left on the clock, and then why did you give the ball to him? First of all, he turned the ball over 3 times in the last 4 minutes. Why do you have 4 passing the ball and not get the 4 is your bet? That's your dude. That's who I want. See, at least the thing about Duke. What'd they do? They isolated Cooper Flag and said, make it. That's what I would have done. Let's isolate my best player and let's let him make the pass or make the shot.
The tournament's defined by the comebacks, by no single one moment of any end of a game. I can't even. Was there one buzzer beater that's at the top of anybody's mind? Was it Derek Queen for Maryland? I think he hit the main buzzer beater of the tournament. Now, I'll admit, I didn't stay awake to watch One Shining Moment, so I'm sure that was added to it and other big shots. But this tournament was defined by, well, however way you want to put it. If it was your team that won, well, it was a comeback. If it was your team that lost, well, then it was a big blown lead. I know how we're all feeling about how it ended with the Razorbacks against Texas Tech, but then they did the same to Florida. Florida comes back after a big deficit in the second half against Auburn.
Houston, the same thing.
Houston, the exact same thing with Duke. And then this championship game in the last 5 minutes. I mean, it was almost the same idea as Duke in their semifinal matchups. This game's over. It's over.
You knew
Turned
Walter
out it
Clayton
wasn't over 5 minutes to go. That's when it really starts.
I was talking with a buddy, and you knew. So they held Walter Clayton to 0 points at halftime. I wonder how many times this year he was held to 0 points at halftime. But that you kind of knew we were talking, and it was like he's about to do something. You knew he had a little 8-point spurt in him. So it's like Houston better, and then he did. He made a couple shots there at the end.
You know, and it's always going to be the end that everybody thinks about, but it's the last 5 minute stretch. And really within the last minute, we already get the first text in here. Brandon comparing it to Arkansas baseball and the pop foul in 2018. Which I mean, it is kind of when you get the lead in the final minute of a basketball game, that's like having an opponent down to their final out.
Well, when you had the lead and the ball too,
yes.
You know, that's when it's tough.
Well, then it's final out in 2 strikes. Okay, it's really difficult to draw comparisons between baseball and any other sport, but yes, if you've got the ball and you've got the lead, and and you're up by 3 in the last minute, that's the opponent being down to their final strike. And so think of in baseball terms for a basketball tournament, think of how many 9th inning down to your final out, maybe down to your final strike comebacks there were in this tournament. That's what defines the tournament, and it was a great tournament. Really, I mean, fantastic.
I thought it was one of the best tournaments I'd seen in a while. I really did. As far as the talent, as far as the games, the theater, the drama. I know it's chalky. You can say that. But from the Elite 8 on, I mean, what was that, 4 games, 5, 6 games right there? Those were all good games, man. They could have won. There's a lot of ways they could have won either way.
It was like watching a weekend in the SEC, kind of, with some of the way some of the games would end near the end of the season and how tight they were and the back and forth near the end of it. So maybe we should like the idea or maybe root on the idea of more Power 4 making to the Sweet 16, just like this year when it was just Power 4 leagues. Because high-level basketball, high-level talent, Matt, it ought to lead to high-level drama. and truthfully, so there weren't huge upsets. Wasn't really one shining moment, but there was great drama. Theater's the word that you like to use to bring that up. With these kind of blown leads and these kind of comebacks and the looks on the faces, the look on the face of Kelvin Sampson at the end of that yesterday, for somebody that's been in the game for as long as he has and to come that close. I'll tell you what, Brandon, that does remind me of 2018. It really does, because I remember the looks on the faces of those who had spent their whole lives, bleeding for the baseball program, and they had that same look on their face too.
Man, you hate it for those kids. 21 to think about that moment for the rest of his life. So you just tell him to keep his head up and to move on. And you went out there and you gave it 100%, and you fought hard. So don't dwell on it too bad. It's just you would have liked to make the right play, but it's they get to hang a banner. Final Four. They didn't get to win the championship, but you hate it for the kid in that situation, because it's a routine play. I guess that's what we're getting at, because it's like that pop fly. It's a routine play. It's a routine. You're there. We got it. You got the guy in the air. You lean into him. You shoot the three.
The way the game was called in the second half,
you're going to get 3 free throws. I mean, it's man, just I think that didn't the Auburn guy do that towards the end of the game too and turn the ball over?
Yeah, Baker Mazzara.
Same thing, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and if you look to how Houston took the lead against Duke, it was a foul that you're wondering, are you really going to call that in the last 5 seconds of a game? You're really going to call that? Well, if you're going to call that, you're going to call jumping into a defender who's in the air on a 3-pointer that may win you the game.
He left his feet. It was oh my goodness.
But the moment must have just kind of felt a little bit too fast, because even for athletes that are highly attuned to the speed of what that game had felt like, the final minute, the final 30 seconds, the final tense, the final possession, and the final shot, it feels just a little bit faster than you expected it to.
Usually,
because those instincts, if he were to think about it at that moment, he's thinking the same thing. Man, why didn't I just jump right into him?
I did think both teams started tight. If you talk about the first 5-6 minutes of the game, they were a little sped up. But usually, and I've never played in a national championship game, and so usually that's all over with, Phil. Once you get hit, once you get lathered up, once you all that's gone. Like then it's just instinct and reacting. You're not really thinking of the gravitas. You're not really thinking of you're just playing and competing. So I don't think that was at the beginning. I think you're right, but I don't think usually you're just, man, it's instinct and you're playing. He just made the wrong play.
Well, and now you look at Florida, it's kind of the way that,
gosh, why did it have to be the Gators?
Well, here, so it's like UConn, multiple titles, multiple coaches, Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke. No, not yet. To me, no, I'm not taking the whole blue blood status thing and what qualifies as a blue blood. It's not about that. Not about that for me. But when you win national titles with multiple coaches, it puts a program at a different spot, really, right? So like UConn women's basketball, for the next coach to come in and even win one national title, man, what an incredible achievement that'll be. It's the same with LSU baseball. They've won national titles under 3 coaches. Alabama football, you don't need to be told about that. So that's where Florida baseball, Florida basketball is too. And it just lets you know another reason why Florida stands apart from the rest of them. First school ever with 3 national titles in football and basketball. And it's all been in the last 30 years, and it's been 2 different coaches to win the championships.
A question I was going to ask that, if the SEC was to lose this tournament, would it still be a success? And I think it would have been. I think the SEC showed out. But now that they won the tournament, I think it's validation going forward as far as how tough the conference is. I think you'll get 12 teams again next year, and maybe even the Missouri baseball team will get better next year.
I just had to leave a little pause for that one. Here's what's on halftime today for a Tuesday. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, 115. A little bit of college baseball with Bill, digging into college football a little bit, and Alyssa Orange in about an hour. So wide open in hour number 1, the Lewis Automotive Group hotline open. So get in with us now, 877-377-6963. Halftime back right after this.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
No, I did not get anything done after the game yesterday.
That's perfect for you.
It wasn't bad.
I don't do well with that. Like when it's nice outside, hard to kind of be too relaxing inside, especially this time of year. I got to get outside.
I could not live.
I had to get outside.
I could not live.
Well, thankfully you don't.
Listen to the Chuck and Bo Show weekday mornings on ESPN Arkansas and on the Hit That Live app.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please text H2H Mystery to 44834 or call us at 479-452-2260. Heart to Heart's Mystery at the Forest, April 26th.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
She would never say where she came from. Yesterday don't matter if it's gone. While the sun is bright, or in the darkest night, no one knows. She comes and goes. Good today. Who could hang a name on you when you change with every new day? Still, I'm gonna lift you. Don't question why she needs.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You got me thinking lunch now, Matt. You got me thinking salad bar and a cheeseburger because of Ruby Tuesday. Why'd we go with that song?
The Stones rock.
Just works.
The Rolling Stones rock, man. There's I think I might play 4 or 5 Stone songs today if that's okay with you guys.
I'm totally into it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I had a boss who the first job I had in baseball, I got to play the music for the team. It was the South Atlantic League team. But if I didn't play something that was from the Stones 3 times a game, I would get an earful from my
Was that
boss.
Bryant Gumbel? Did you see the show before? You know, when they're telling stories about people that work at CBS, and so Bryant Gumbel's a big fan with Keith, or him and Keith Richards are buddies, and so he went to like 8 concerts one summer, and they're like, "Oh, I bet you had good seats." He's like, "No, I was backstage the whole time. Like I wasn't out with the animals." And he said one of the sets. One of the shows that they were performing one evening, they let him write the set list for him. Now, how awesome would that be?
I mean, that sounds cool.
And
but
I celebrate
pressure.
Yeah, I know you sell. And see, I wonder if it's kind of like, okay, pick out of these songs, or if you get to pick out of their entire catalog, because I celebrate their entire catalog.
So is that basically what you're doing here today? Is you're picking out a Stones concert for us?
No, then I got
songs. It's just one set,
and
not
then,
even a set.
Yeah, and then we got a Lou Reed song and a Perfect Circle song and Alyssa's song. So we have 3 other songs,
right.
and the rest to be Stones.
Well, you had me thinking Ruby. Well, have anybody been to Ruby Tuesdays anytime soon? They still have those?
Aren't those like Orion's? Weren't they kind of like you'd see Orion's and then Ruby Tuesdays right
they
over
do
there?
good. It was one of those places that I thought might have had some trouble during the pandemic when the salad bars went out of business, because it was a good salad bar. And really like a very protective sneeze guard too. You could always tell, like they made sure you weren't going to get any spittle on their salad at all. All right, 877-377-6963. I don't know what I'm sure Razorback John didn't call to talk about spit guards.
He must be a Stones
He must
fan.
be out on the road somewhere. Razorback John, where are you? And why is the wind blowing so hard?
I'm out on the road. Sorry about that, guys. But hey, this is Peabody Award stuff you're covering here.
Absolutely.
Right? Hard-hitting journalism at its finest. I hate to call and ask a stupid sports question.
No, that's what the phone line's for.
I was just going to call and say how happy I am that Florida won the game last night, and for the simple fact that people were saying how the SEC got too many teams in and that we're overrated and
Validation in a little bit of form. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just glancing, and it's 14 out of the 16 teams are in, 7 in the Sweet 16, 4 in the Elite 8, 2 in the Final 4, 1 in the Natty that won. I mean, that's pretty impressive, and I don't think anybody can say otherwise. And that's basically all I had to say. And good show, guys. I appreciate it. I'll hang up and listen.
All right, appreciate it very much. I think I see 23 total wins by SEC teams in the tournament. It's 23 total wins by SEC teams in the men's tournament. That's an all-time record.
And the leading scorer, Walter Clayton, was the leading scorer of the tournament.
And the national champion.
Yeah, right. I mean, you want to. That was kind of my question, Phil. Yes, and I've for some reason forgot to bring it up. But if the SEC didn't win the tournament, would it still be success? And I think so.
Yes.
I think it would have still. You got 2 teams in the Final Four.
How many in the Sweet 16?
In a game in the championship. What do we have? 7?
I think it was 7. Half the teams that got in.
I think it was success even if they didn't win it. But then they totally did.
Half the teams that the SEC put into the tournament at least had a winning record in the tournament. At least went 2-1 at the very worst. Half the teams win it. And then if you have half the Final Four and then half the national championship game, even if your team loses the national championship, yes, your league was the best league that year. Truthfully, if you got 7 of the final 16, and I don't think any other league had more than 4, then regardless of what happens in the national championship game, your league was the best. So I mean, I can appreciate the caller rooting for Florida because he wanted to go the SEC route. But even if the Gators would have lost that game, nothing changed. The fact that the SEC was the strongest league in college basketball in the regular season, was the strongest league in college basketball in the postseason. Yeah, nothing changes that at all. And the other thing too is, now you pointed this, I think we brought it up yesterday. A texter also, I think, underlined it for us. If the tournament is as chalky, quote unquote, chalky as this tournament was, then the selection committee did the best job they've ever done. They ought to hand a trophy to every member of the selection committee and say, very well done. Here you go. Come back next year and do it again. They got it right. For everyone who wants to point out when a committee gets things wrong, if the top 4 seeds are in the championship round, essentially, and the final 4 is, then the committee got it right.
Did you see any NBA talent on the floor last night, though? I was kind of wondering that because I love LJ Cryer, but that dude will play 0 minutes in the NBA. Like you just you're looking at was Walter Clayton. I guess he's kind of consensus. He's the number 1 player on the floor that's the NBA guy. But how many other NBA guys did you see? Was there a lot of NBA talent out there?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
maybe that Richard kid.
You kind of like him a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of Condon?
Yeah,
he's raw. He's raw, but he's touched by God. He's got the length. That's what I mean. That's, you kind of get a chance when you're built like that. So yeah, he's raw though. But
that's the one guy I might have thought,
yeah.
and that's the reason why. Just because he's got that. He's got that size, got the body type that would
6'11", 230. He's a sophomore. Yeah, I think you like him. I could see him.
You
look at
years?
Kevin Love. I don't think he's Kevin Love, but you look at maybe Ryan Anderson that played for the Rockets for a few years. He was a tall guy that it allows you to switch things on defense, and then you develop that shot. You can't get blocked. So yeah, he might be all right.
877-377-6963. For the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. So were you folks kind of the same way as our last caller was, rooting for Florida because of the SEC? And I mean, we have other folks that can't stand the thought of another SEC team winning a championship before the Razorbacks do. It's usually the avenue that I take it from, and I don't think winning the championship last year really means that, or this year means that the SEC was the best. But where I would really push it for folks, it's like, getting more teams into the Sweet 16 or into the Elite 8, I think, is what kind of justifies what the league has done throughout the year. Not just the last game. It's just going to be one team that wins the championship, but we're talking about overall league depth. And that's why I still think when we look at the Big Ten and the SEC in college football, sure, the Big Ten has had schools that have won the Natty the last 2 years, but that doesn't mean that that league has been the deeper, stronger overall league. Which is also why we got the draft coming up later this month. I don't know. I don't remember how long this streak is that the SEC has had the most players drafted in the NFL, but I'm assuming that continues the next year. I think they did last year too.
The last mock I looked at, and we were talking to your boy Connor O'Gara, yesterday. The top 5 picks weren't SEC guys, Phil, and I think Michigan has 3 of the top 12 that might go. So yeah, I don't know. The SEC, now maybe we get some on the back end because you got Georgia, the kid from LSU that Connor likes, that they said they don't like his arm length, so he's fallen out of the top 10, which I mean, you have to, is he a Tyrannosaurus Rex? Is that how bad his arms are? I mean, I think if you're blocking it, dude, look, to me, he passes the eye test. I think the dude can play at the next level. You got that DN from Georgia. I think the DN from Tennessee fell a little bit. So I think this year you might not get, maybe in the first round, the SEC might not win the first round this year.
Compare that to basketball now, where
we never win the SEC.
No, I'm just talking about maybe the top 10, not even first round, top 10 out of the SEC. I mean, you're potentially looking at Johnson out of
Texas. Yeah, he's so undersized, but he's elite. I like. Newell. Is he gone? Yeah, Asa Newell.
If he goes into the draft, I mean, you still have time to. You think you still have time to.
He reminds me of Chris Bosh. I think Chris Bosh was like the 4th or 6th overall pick. So I think Asa. Yeah, I like his game.
And then, of course, when it comes to baseball, the SEC always gets 1 or 2 into the top 10 as well. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We'll get into some baseball stuff in a moment. EVH spoke to the Swatters Club, and we'll have some of that in a moment here on Halftime.
Wait a minute, is that it? You ain't heard nothing.
This is Halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every 10.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, as saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the luxe you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Hey, Northwest Arkansas, we're the Lewis brothers here from Lewis Automotive. We've got some exciting news to share with you today. As you know, during the month of March was our ultimate challenge, and we got some big news.
Absolutely. During the month of March, we set a huge goal of cars that we needed to sell, and we're here to let you know that we not only hit that goal, we exceeded that goal. So we just want to say thank you.
Yes, thank you to our employees. Thank you for the families for supporting them during this month. And thank you to the customer for not only buying, but for selling us your vehicle as well.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, as saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the luxe you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Hey, Northwest Arkansas, we're the Lewis brothers here from Lewis Automotive. We've got some exciting news to share with you today. As you know, during the month of March was our ultimate challenge, and we got some big news.
Absolutely. During the month of March, we set a huge goal of cars that we needed to sell, and we're here to let you know that we not only hit that goal, we exceeded that goal. So we just want to say thank you.
Yes, thank you to our employees. Thank you for the families for supporting them during this month. And thank you to the customer for not only buying, but for selling us your vehicle as well.
Thanks for watching. Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
They do Swatters Club once a month. Just happened to be the day that Arkansas is ranked number 1 in every single college baseball poll yesterday. And at the Fayetteville Library, Dave Van Horn had some things to say about the Razorback lineup and about the guy that coaches them, Nate Thompson.
Our offense is pretty special if you haven't figured it out yet. I'll just say that. By the way, our hitting coach, he's pretty good, for those of you that didn't know that. So, overall, SEC, we're leading the SEC by about 30 points in hitting overall. And in just SEC games, we're first. We're hitting 361 as a team in SEC games. The next closest team is 299. So, don't be sending me any more texts about getting a new hitting coach, all right? That's all I had to say it. I'm done. And anyway, I could get rolling on that, but I'm going to leave that one alone.
There are no victory laps to be taken on April the 7th or on April the 8th in a season that you're hoping goes to June. But from what you're watching on this lineup right now, I don't think it was a matter of poor coaching over last year. And really, I think looking at the teams that Dave and Nate and Matt have built over the years, and Matt Hobbs became part of the coaching staff in 2019, last year's lineup was the outlier. They scored 6.7 runs per game. Every other team under Davey H. since 2017 has scored at least 7 runs per game. This team's averaging over 10 runs a game, and that's not just out of conference. That's not just midweek against ULM and against Portland on the weekend. That's actual SEC numbers. They are literally averaging over 10 runs in SEC games. Now, so much of this, you'll have to point to the idea that, look, it's better hitters. It's better hitters that are utilizing some of the very same ideas that Nate has been trying to preach to previous teams as well. You know, when you watch a team here that is as good as this group of hitters are at going the other way, hitting the ball with authority to the other side of the field, that's something that he's been preaching for years now. The idea of not chasing off-speed pitches when you know it's coming and that's your weakness, that's definitely been something that's been preached. The approach, I think part of it has to go to the idea that it's an incredibly difficult sport to play, that there are certain expectations for what a quote-unquote good lineup is. Last year, mediocre. Previous years, they were, even 2023, they weren't very good near the end, but that was because the two best hitters on the team were hurt. Jared Wagner, Tavian Josenberger, two guys who, by the way, got better when they came here. Wagner was really good at Creighton. He got better when he came to Arkansas. Josenberger was good at Kansas. He got better when he came to Arkansas. I think Nate Thompson would be one reason why. Those guys deserve the credit, but they're working with the hitting coach. Now, I'll say Nate has some different ideas. He does some things a little bit differently. There are some things on a baseball field during batting practice for the Hogs that I hadn't seen before. You know, they have a punching bag that is set up kind of suspended. It's right behind home plate next to where they've got their bunting thing set up. And the guys are taking not full practice swings, but sort of practice swings into a punching bag. There are some other things, too, that look different that might raise someone else's eyebrows and say, I don't know if I'd seen that before. But that doesn't mean it doesn't work. And it doesn't mean, here's what I know about Nate Thompson. He's really intelligent. He has been a baseball guy through and through from the very start. It's a baseball family. His brother's the head coach at Baylor. And when you sit with Nate and he feels comfortable with you, you can get deep into the weeds of hitting and know this is someone who knows what he's talking about. He wouldn't be the hitting coach at Arkansas if he didn't. And he wouldn't have the tenure and length that he has as the coach at Arkansas if he didn't. And if guys hadn't been improving when they're here for the most part. Not everybody's going to improve. But I think if you were to look at the percentages, I think most hitters when they've come to Arkansas have gotten better. And this group is at the top of the list. Does Nate deserve all the credit? No. These hitters do. And some of the other coaches do, guys like Bobby Warnes and them. But Nate's the hitting coach. And, you pull out receipts on April the 7th, and someone's going to save those receipts to show you something when you may lose your last game in June. That's understood. But I have a feeling I know what I'm seeing with this group, and it's a really great lineup. Nate deserves some credit. So I'm not surprised that Dave kind of brought that out yesterday because Dave Van Horn is as loyal as it gets. And I know those coaches feel the same way about him that he does about them. So, it's funny, too, because they say sometimes, well, you don't pay attention to what some people are saying, social media and whatnot. I guess there's some that have that have Dave's phone number that may text him about it every once in a while, too.
I had a coach that said, it's amazing when I get better players, people think I'm better at my job. And I think that's what it is. The team, there's more talent on this team. I can see it. I mean, you see it every day, but there's more talent on this team. There's better hitters on here. Then obviously the coach looks better. And so no question about it. I saw some of this. I saw these. You're talking about doing crazy drills like punching a punching bag out there. So I was watching something on baseball hitting, like the art of hitting, and they were talking about some people in Japan taking a katana and cutting a baseball in half the way you swing.
Oh yeah.
And so my question to you, Phil, what continent produces the best hitters? Dominican, USA, Japan? Who do you think, like, as far as the art of hitting, that seems like that would be a cool drill. Now, you can't, I wouldn't trust anybody that doesn't know how to use a blade. You don't just go give somebody that's never held a sword before or a katana to say, hey, man, you do this. Obviously,
you can notice little differences from like a Japanese player from an American player just in the way that they swing the bat.
Mm-hmm.
You even saw that. I forget what team it was that came in this year that had a kid that's from Japan, and you could even see just in the way that he stands in the batter's box, the way he leans back as the pitch is coming and where the bat goes from there. And if I think of like a Japanese hitter, I think of a high finish, a really high finish, a little bit of like a wrist whip at the end of it too. But I mean, it's the same as Japanese pitching. It's different than American pitching. It's more based on breaking stuff. American stuff is more based on velocity,
on gas.
That's right. If you think of Dominican hitters, you think of the old adage that nobody walks off the island. They hit to get off the island. So that's why I see a lot of Dominican guys, well, they're really aggressive hitters. They're looking for something to bash, and it doesn't matter where it is. Think of Vladimir Guerrero, Mr. $500 million man. Now, that'd be a little different because his father made millions of dollars already, but he's got the same ideas as dad. Vladimir Sr. grew up in poverty. He swung at everything. He swung at pitches that bounced and hit it over the fence, if I remember correctly, at least once. And so it's different. It's different approaches for different countries. It's an interesting thing to look at there too. As far as like Iredale from Australia, I don't know if there's just an Australian approach that's a little bit different than an American approach. I just know the guy can hit, but he also. How would you feel about being the designated guy to get hit by a pitch? Because like every game he's getting hit. I think he's on some kind of a streak. Just stand in there and just make sure you got added pads.
I think that's the main reason I quit playing baseball.
You hated getting hit by a pitch?
Yeah. I think I got hit like 5 times in 3 games. And I was like, yeah, I'm over this. We'll go play other sports.
Oh, yeah. You'll just go play the sport where there's the 350-pound guy that's trying to chase you and hit
they
you,
didn't
too.
never touch me as much as you think. I was kind of slippery. I didn't get hit as much as you think. Where when you're standing there and it's coming 88 at you, it's like you're not quick enough to move, but I know what you mean.
Getting out of the way of an angry defensive end is a little bit more
4-3
difficult than
helps a
getting
little
out of the
bit.
way
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Mm-hmm. 4-3 doesn't help you much on a 95-mile-an-hour
Yeah,
fastball.
how quickly can you drop? I
Yeah.
mean, literally fall down just to get out of the way. That's funny, too. Because I think it's the same idea. There's 2 things I've read about or heard guys talk about this. Or they're going to say, this is when I quit playing baseball. It's the first time they saw a real curveball. You'd hit the fastball. Curveball, I don't hit. Like you see a real curveball for the first time, like forget about that.
Because it starts out at your head, and you're like, oh, and then it drops in, and the umpire goes, strike one.
Not for me. Not for me. You might think you can hit the velocity when you see a real curveball or a real no, not for me. And then the other one I would think was just you decide, yeah, I'm going to go play football. The first time you really get hit, which
if a coach
at some
is
point
doing
it
it
had
right-
to have happened to you.
Well, if a coach is doing it right, you don't match up guys that aren't ready. You got to be able to evaluate. So you're not trying to hurt anybody. The thing about football is, Phil, you don't want to go through 2-a-days in 105 degree. That's the thing. Like, it's not about how physical it is. It's about how hard it is. It's like turkey hunting. Like you hear a turkey up on that mountain and you got to tie your boots up and go get it. People don't want to do that. People don't want to work for that. Football is the hardest sport as far as on your body, the way you play it, that people don't want to do that. It's tough, man. It's tough work to be a football player.
Like there's guys out there.
Except for these fancy pretty boy quarterbacks, those NFL quarterbacks that don't ever get hit anymore.
Except between the bottom of really not even the neck, the chest and the belt.
I joke.
That's about it.
Yeah. But they I get it, because you talk about the NBA. What have these old timers been saying the last? They're like, Steph Curry wouldn't have been in our league. Well, the thing was, they would have hurt him. When people started making so much money, that's when the game got, because you don't want to hurt. It's kind of a brotherhood. It's kind of a fraternity. You don't want to injure somebody and ruin their career.
When the word investment started being thrown in there, why you're paying somebody millions of dollars and you're investing in them. Now they're a property. Now they're an asset.
An investment of capital.
That's right. So you're going to have some more rules around that. Good morning, Caleb. He's giving us a call here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. What's up, Caleb? How are you?
Hey, Phil. Hey, Matt. How's it going?
Great, thank you.
Oh, I'm just giving a call. It's just, I sit here and I look at tonight with Arkansas State, and, I'm excited. I'm always excited during the midweek to get Razorback baseball, to get my juices going for the SEC weekend. But, I don't know about you, Phil, but this team just has a different feel than other teams. I know that's been said constantly, but as far as like being a baseball guy, like the mentality that this team brings, not only defense, not only pitching, but like this hitting mentality is unbelievable. When your best hitter is your leadoff hitter, you've got something special.
That's true, and you don't want to take him out of that spot either, to give him what you think would be more opportunities to drive in runs, because he's setting the table for everybody behind him, and the guys at the bottom of the batting order, the Caboose gang, the self-named Caboose gang, they're giving Davalon opportunities to drive in runs. I mean, it works. It works, and you think about how many times has Dave made a change in the lineup this year? There just was a little tweak last game with Kahil Aloy bumped down to 6th from 4th, and Iredale cleaning up, and Koza moved to 3rd. But other than that, there haven't been many tweaks at all over the last month. It was pretty much the same 1 through 6 for a good 2 weeks there. And now it's been about the same 1 through 9. Not just this 9 guys in the lineup every day, but exactly the way that it's constructed. You'll probably have Kahil hitting more in the middle instead of batting cleanup right now, but it's a good problem to have, because Dave Dilly barely even has to worry about what the lineup's going to look like.
Oh, I mean, that's what's been so incredible, is it's like, when with hitting, you always baseball. You're always waiting for that bad day with that good hitter, and it seems like when we have that bad day with that good hitter, oh, here comes Kozel, here comes another the Lloyd, just or Iredale or Davalon. I mean, it's just it's such a consistent. Hey, brother, you're having a bad day. Well, let me go hit 7 RBIs and 2 home runs. Yeah. Like, I mean, are you kidding me? Like, yeah.
Someone else
I
is
get
there.
Missouri's bad. What?
No, I was just saying someone else. If you can't do it, someone else will do it. That's their mentality.
Oh, I know. And that's what's incredible is like, yeah, Missouri was terrible, but you also have to think that goes back to the mentality that I'm talking about. Like, you go in and it's horrible weather. It's cold. It's, and this team's not affected by that. We go out and score 51 runs in probably the worst baseball weather you could have.
Yeah.
I mean, and, Missouri gave up in that second game, and we could have given up, but here we go in the 6th inning, scoring, 4 more runs? I mean, I love that killer mentality that this baseball team has, and, like, it's going to go far, especially when it comes to late May and June.
Hey, Caleb, we got to run right up against a break. Appreciate your phone call. 877-377-6963 is the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Got to take pride in something, right? This team takes pride in putting together good at-bats. We'll be right back after the break.
I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
This is halftime.
Fishing season is here, and Jelco Outdoors has all the gear for you. The largest selection of rods, reels, and baits by Shimano, Daiwa, Lew's, 6th Sense, ACC, Todd Huckabee, St. Croix, G. Loomis, Bobby Garland, Spro, X-Zone, and many more. Fishing clothing, footwear, and rain gear by AFCO, Brundens, Extra Tough, and Under Armour, Garmin Electronics, and much, much more. Jelco Outdoors, your fishing partner in the River Valley. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, no win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one baby shad. The original baby shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original baby shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
Big changes are coming. In order to serve you better, Metters Lumber is joining Ace Hardware. We will remain locally owned and operated so you can expect the same great service, but with lower pricing and better selection. We'll have exciting new brands to serve more of your needs. Come by and check out our deeply discounted merchandise as we make room for new products at Metters Lumber Company in Alma, Ozark in Clarksville.
Hey, Ty Richardson, back in my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria in downtown Fort Smith here with Brooklyn, one of the new gals. Y'all got a great special on Monday, Brooklyn.
Yes, we have our $3 domestic drafts, our Bud Lights, Miller Lights, Coors Light, Yingling, Shinerbach, Michelob Ultra, some super cold mugs, and 10 wings for $8.95.
Come on by and see us at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Just so far on Queen in Memphis. She tried to take me upstairs for a ride. She had to heave me right across her shoulder.
Back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Wrapping up our first hour here of halftime. I had to watch the championship game yesterday, Matt, the full game on my phone, not just the first half. My son's baseball game was delayed because the game in front of him went extra innings. Even though it's a timed game, they allowed him to play one full extra inning. It took 30 more minutes. So his baseball game didn't start until there was about 10 minutes left in the first half, and I watched the entire national championship game on my phone with the sound down next to my daughter until she and my ex-wife left. And then his baseball game ends, and that's a whole other different story. Coach got it all mixed up. There's two different youth levels to our organization. He had our young team play against the opponent's older team. It was 15 and 16-year-olds against 12 and 13-year-olds. That's a whole other story. And so I saw the final play of the game, Matt, in the drive-through line at Sonic. It's a great way to watch the end of the game.
Great way to get a cherry limeade. So on this day, April 8th, Hank Aaron hits his 715th home run.
Oh, wow.
But something about C-Movie over here. Can you remember the movie that your boy Ray Liotta and Bobby De Niro played Henry Hill and Jimmy Burke, and they had the Air France robbery, stealing over $420,000? The Lufthansa heist. Do you remember that? That happened on this day.
That was today, too?
1968.
You remember the movie? C-Movie? Oh, my God. He remembers the Beatles, but he doesn't remember the movie that had Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro.
It's a mobster movie, gangster movie.
Go find your shine box.
I don't think you heard no more. I don't shine shoes no more. Keep them here. Keep them here. You think I'm scared to dig a hole?
They all run together.
Do you watch movies with your eyes open?
They run together.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, the segments of our show run together, too. The second hour's coming up. Help us with C-Movie.
Eating spaghetti like a smuck.
877-377-6963. Pasta fagioli. We'll be right back.
Wave Rural Connect is excited to introduce our new 300 megabit internet service, perfect for streaming, remote work, and homework for just $64.95 a month. Get no worries, cyber safe managed Wi-Fi for a total of $71.95. Order today at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. We're adding new services and expanding our areas for you. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at ArkansasGlassandMirror.com.
Can you explain the infield fly rule? Neither can I, but I can help you navigate a variety of legal issues, from divorce to personal injury to estate planning. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, a new law firm offering affordable flat fees with payment plans available. You get an ace at the price of a minor leaguer. Now that sounds like a grand slam to me. Call Mock Legal Solutions for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the low to mid 60s. Clear skies tonight. Overnight low in the low to mid 40s. Wednesday, sunshine. Our high will be in the low 70s. And more sunshine back with us on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown, Arkansas! How did he get that wide open?
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Well, ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
That ain't but one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hello and welcome back in. Halftime continues here on ESPN Arkansas and the Hit That Line Now app, brought to you by Taco Bell. That's the app, not the show. Phil Elson and Matt Jones standing here across from the one and only C Movie Unit Burger that
C-Pop quiz.
you got to look at us while we're talking to you about this real quick here, because I got into this with Bubba the other day on a baseball broadcast. He couldn't remember the name of the movie that had Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, and Ray Liotta. We've been doing halftime homework with him for 2 years. We were able to look past not remembering the Beatles' names because that was about a year after we first did it. But this movie,
that's the whole plot of the movie. That's the basic plot of the movie is their heist. Yeah, the Air France heist.
And that was 2 months ago.
Unit, is this in the calendar year? Are we 2025? You saw, yeah, Ray Liotta. Oh my!
I did not remember. Look, I don't always remember the things that I studied when it came to education as a youngster. Sometimes you just study so that you pass the test and then you forget what it was that you just learned. That's not what halftime homework is about. This is very important information that is going to feed your brain for the remainder of your life. You got to remember these things, at least that part of it. We're very disappointed in UC movie.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset. You might have to retake the class sometime in the next couple weeks. You might have to retake it. Maybe summer school. You'll have a summer school class.
Wait until your co-host comes home. He's really going to read you the riot act here. You have anything to say for yourself whatsoever?
Yeah, I wasn't a great student.
I'll do better next time. That's all he can do. I'll do better next time.
I remember what that feeling was. I could see it in his face, too. That's all it took. And I was a terrible college student, like a horrendous college student. And that's all it took. I'm disappointed. And then, sir, at some point, I'm disappointed isn't good enough for a parent. Then they got to start yelling when they're spending money and you're wasting it. So at least you're not doing that yet.
It's like Donnie Darko. I don't know if you've seen this one yet, Unit, but maybe if not, you have to. But it's the fear and love line. You know, it's like where do you they tell you things, which one, fear or love? I think mine was out of fear when I was in junior high and high school. I had to do good because my parents were at the school with, so it's like I couldn't bring home a lot of C's.
Well, there's fear, there's love, and then there's loathing. That goes along with fear, too. That would be the third one that we have as well. But loathing doesn't, you don't loathe and respect at the same time.
Only on the Back to the Future line where you drop down to a different axis. Yeah, when it's but I got you.
Florida is the national champion for men's basketball. UConn is the champion for women's basketball. It's been a while since UConn actually won the national title.
Is Gino the best college coach ever? A basketball coach. Like in our generation, I'd say, Coach K, are you putting him up there? I think John Wooden would be a past generation, so we're not. But I'm saying this last 20, 30 years, like the last 30 years of being a college, Gino's number one, huh?
I think so.
I think so, too.
In my lifetime.
That's what I mean. Since 1985, coaching college basketball, since 1990, if you want to cut it off there, who's been the best coach in college basketball? Coach K would be up there. Roy Williams would be up there. Would Boeheim? I don't know. See, Boeheim only won one. Gino has won 5. Is it 12?
He's 12.
Oh, my goodness.
That's exactly right. That's 12, and I think it's out of 36. It might be
95.
30,
95 was the first one.
But it may be 36. Is it 36 Sweet 16s? Did I get that number right?
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, it's just nuts, the amount of chances that they've even had to get to that Sweet 16 level and then to win 12 national titles off of that number and to do it in different eras of the sport. Now, college sports is about to enter a new era. This house settlement wasn't approved yesterday by Judge Willikin, but she showed all the signs that she will. What I think the sticking point for the time being are roster limits. These roster limits that have been imposed on certain sports, which basically is ending careers of some of these athletes, prematurely. Just have had to cut a bunch of athletes because your roster limit was going to be imposed. And you had to get to that number, and it does look like the NCAA. This to me feels like the one sticking point that's left. So maybe that right now Sam Pittman's dealing with in his mind a roster of 105. It may actually end up being more than that, depending on who gets grandfathered in. So, and then maybe the idea of the walk-on is not fully dead yet.
I really think you need at least 30 teams in a pod if you want to have 310s a team, but you got to have some type of promotion and relegation because it's I'm not saying for the Arkansas to get out of the SEC, but you got to play teams that with equal talent, with equal spending, because everybody, I know we're not on an equal playing field, I get that, but it really is becoming the haves and the have-nots. You have to have money to go out and get this, acquire talent, or you're not going to be able to compete. And I did see a way too early college basketball top 25.
Yeah, 7th I saw.
Duke was 8. Don't we play? Isn't that who we play in United Center?
How in the world can you do a way too early top 25 when you have no idea?
Houston was number 1. I think Houston steps back a little bit. They just lost that Cryer 4. And how sick were his shoes? I wanted those basketball shoes he had. Number 4 for Houston. He was my favorite player to watch last night. I don't know why they didn't put the ball in his hands.
Tuna's here with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Good afternoon, Charlie. What do you think of last night? Florida's the champion. Were you rooting?
Well, Phil, I wasn't really rooting either way. I just wanted to see a good game. You saw a classic. I think the entire Final Four itself was just a classic of its own right.
That's great.
can't
That's how I look at the
remember-
World Series. I just want to see a great series. That's what you saw. A
Yeah.
great Final Four.
You know, the thing is that it does goes to show you how hard it is to win, though. Like, I think this idea that, we have John Calipari, and it's like you're just going to automatically get, and look, I get it. There's expectations, right, when you hire a coach like that. But it's really hard to get there. It's hard to get to the Final Four. And I kind of hated it for Kelvin Sampson. I think he is one of the better coaches in college basketball right now. And to lose that game by 2 points just stinks. But you got to give Florida credit. Both teams, they battled. It was really a game, though. You think about the pace, the score, more favored Houston. Florida found a way. They did a pretty good job on Walter Clayton. Held him to 0 points in the first half, but that's the thing when you have a great team, right? You got other guys who can step up, and Florida all year long, just so many weapons, so much talent, good young coach. So I give them a lot of credit. It was a fun game to watch for sure. I wanted to, really, we're doing it too early, top 25 already, Phil?
Well, of course.
They
do it in football.
It had
They do it
DJ
in
Wagner.
football,
It
too.
had DJ Wagner in our starting lineup, but it didn't have 3. But it had 21 in the starting lineup.
See, I've heard rumors that DJ may not be coming, but who knows? That's the thing. No one really knows right now. I can't, and I don't really care about preseason rankings to begin with. To me, that's overrated.
That's just a
bullcrap.
That's just a snapshot of who can return, who's in your recruiting class, and who your coach is. That's all that is.
But I will say this about eras. I wanted to throw this in there. I'm starting to think that when you think about eras, the last 4 years or so, this has been its own era in its own right.
Yes.
If you think back to
There's definitely a
2021,
shift, yeah.
Yeah, if you think back to 2021, because I heard Sam Pittman talk about this, that team went 9-4, right? The 8-4 team, but that team had a lot of experience, a lot of guys, 5th, 6th-year guys that had been in the program, had been through the. I don't even know what to call it.
That receiver that this can't, bless his heart, Traylon Burks. He might not have been a Razorback because there would have been teams out there that would have been giving him a lot of money to come play for him.
After year one, Matt, somebody when they seen that talent, oh man, you're right. He might have been gone. I agree with you, and so yeah, man, to have all those guys that kept coming back in that offensive line that they had was so good that season, and I think that the last 4 years, and this is why I think it affects football just a bit more because you just have so many players, and maybe you're right, Phil. The walk-on thing isn't totally dead yet, but so they didn't approve it yesterday, right? So when's the next?
I don't think it's that they didn't approve it. It's just it sounds like she said all the things to show she's going to approve it. Just need to address this thing. And I think it also had to deal with, the idea of it's supposed to be a 10-year window that this settlement sits within, which also means that you're supposed to think about the athletes who might be college athletes 10 years from now and find a way to get those. And I don't know how you get.
Wow.
I don't know how you get an 8-year-old into the class settlement, but I think that's one aspect of it. And then the one sticking point I think that the NCAA is going to have to probably cave in on is the roster limits. It's exactly right. And so
your son.
For like baseball, right now they've got 40. They have to get down to 34. But if this is the case, if they're going to grandfather in the players that are here, then at least the 40 that are here will be grandfathered in. I guess they wouldn't count towards the 34, or you can go over 34. With football, you could go over 105. And it seems like it would at least be a little bit easier for the coaches, and certainly, it wouldn't end careers prematurely.
Yeah, but I was going to point this out. So you may have already touched on this. How did your boy play last night? So let's get him ready, Phil. He's 12, right? 13. let's just get him ready. Let's get him going.
Tuna,
He's gonna be a stud.
here's what happened yesterday. I noticed when I'm watching the teams warm up, and I'm trying to keep my eye on the national championship game too. The Tigers, the team that we were playing, they looked considerably larger than the Cardinals, which was the team that my son is on. And come to find out, Coach made a mistake. There's two age levels to our team. He had our young team playing their old team. He had made a mistake on the scheduling for us. So we had 12 and 13-year-olds playing 15 and 16-year-olds, which, by the way, we're doing that in college sports now. We got 24-year-olds pitching to 18-year-olds. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, kind of, man. But that's crazy. But, yeah, man, I want to hear about your son. How good do you think he can be? You talked about him maybe, working with him on hitting and stuff. I want to hear about that. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Okay, thank you very much, Tuna. I'll put it in these terms. At the moment, they're not quite building a wing in Cooperstown just for him. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Hey, remember about Swift's Jewelry in downtown Fayetteville. Love is in the air these days. Of course, the sun is out. Everybody's happier. And yes, love is most definitely in the air. Swift's Jewelry is the place to go when you want to celebrate your love. Stunning custom design specializing in wedding and engagement rings that are as unique as your love story. Watch repairs, too. They got you covered with expert service. You'll stay ticking on time. They have a dazzling selection right there at their location, 27 North Block Avenue, right next to Hugo's in the Fayetteville Town Square. Swift's has been a trusted name since 1956. You can also get a look at their entire selection at swiftsjewelry.com. Swift's Jewelry, where timeless elegance and exceptional craftsmanship come together in the heart of Fayetteville. Alyssa Orange joining halftime in just a moment.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
After a while, you realize that there's certain people you just can't argue with. I mean, you just can't. Like me and Bart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're all cut. Like that.
We're all cut from that cloth.
The best part about an argument is when you're the smart one and whoever's on the other side is clearly not.
Listen to the Chuck and Bo Show weekday mornings on ESPN Arkansas and on the Hit That Line app.
Spring is here and the grass is growing fast. Upgrade to a Hustler Zero Turn. Hurry in for the Hustler sales event.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, the saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the Lux you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Thanks for watching us.
Number 1, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. What makes you unique from other stores in the area?
I try to build a great relationship with all of my customers. I can do just anything from cars to food trucks to signs, banners. I do a lot of custom this and that. I'll say 100% of anybody come in here, they leave out happy. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
It's time for the Rath Ride Replacement Sale at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get $3,750 above appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory, inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by a comprehensive warranty. It's the Rath Ride Replacement Sale all this month at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Well, I knocked to a window to leave her a note. Will you come meet me at the back of the grove? All the trees were in bloom. That's the smell in the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah. True love,
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the host. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Go to the Lewis Automotive Group hotline in a moment. We were bringing up the idea earlier about parents and about coaching, fear and love, and how you might view somebody. And a question coming in from Gavin: would you rather be feared or loved? Gavin says he wants people to fear how much they love him. Man, you're gonna get in some really interesting relationships then, Gavin. I can't wait. You need your own podcast. Alyssa Orange is with us too here. Alyssa, would you rather be feared or loved? And you can't pick a different emotion.
As a parent?
Sure, you can go.
It is all situational, yeah.
Okay. I think loved. Yeah, I mean, there's always that joke where it's like, oh, they don't respect you if they don't fear you. But I don't know. I think you can lead with love in a endearing way, but also in a respect-driven way.
Is it the same with coaching? If you coach in the same thing? Because here's the thing. If I think about like Dave Van Horn, okay, I think it's not fear. It's more of an idea of I don't want to disappoint this guy. I don't want to disappoint that.
I don't want to let him down. I've had coaches. I don't want to let them down. 100%.
Mm-hmm. I think the best bosses that I've ever had have operated in that regard, right? Like, it's more of a just not wanting to disappoint them, let them down, respect instead of just fear or indifference. And I think that goes a long way, especially in that kind of leadership role. So yeah, I think that's the best approach to it, whether you're coaching or you're a parent or you're a leader of some sort.
Hey, Alyssa, with this new way of college basketball and kind of what the SEC yesterday, was kind of thinking that if the SEC didn't win the national title, was it still a good tournament? I think it was, even if they didn't, but they did. Do you think they could go on a little run here, kind of like we did in football? We've only won Florida won 2 and Kentucky's won 1 since 2000. Do you think there's a way where the SEC could win 3, 4, 5 national championships in the next 10 years?
I think so. The way that the league, again, invested in the sport a handful of years ago, and you've just seen that trajectory go up, and then obviously you continue to put in 14 teams, that percentage is just going to go higher in terms of someone being there as the last team standing in a national championship game. I don't know if there was any Florida State alum like myself who woke up in a good mood this morning. But that's okay. Congratulations to the SEC. I think that just shows, again, the dedication to so much more than just the sports itself that the SEC does with its student athletes and making it a league that players want to play in. And you're seeing it with football. Now you're seeing it with men's basketball. Obviously, I mean, don't forget women's basketball up until, South Carolina, LSU, like women's basketball has done the same thing on the other side. As strong as those teams are, the league itself isn't as strong top to bottom. But baseball and softball, now with OU, the track and field, it's hard to not forget about those sports too, that they've been winning national titles in for a really long time, and now men's basketball kind of almost feels like that last little puzzle piece.
Well, for me, it's when schools like Ole Miss and Auburn and Alabama have, not just like a shot in the pan kind of a basketball team for a year, but programs that are successful and really good. I mean, Alabama and Auburn, Final Four, each of them once in the last 2 years. Ole Miss, Sweet 16 for the first time in, I guess it's been 25 years.
Texas is going to be better.
Right. Texas will be better. It's just a matter of, these are programs that made an effort that might not have made an effort into really putting resources into basketball. And I mean, it's the same thing. They did that in baseball for years. That's why there are, 6 national championships for the SEC in the last 7 years. You've seen the exact same thing with women's basketball. It hasn't just been one program. It's been LSU. It's been Tennessee. It's been South Carolina. Mississippi State came really close back-to-back years. And we've seen it in football too. It isn't, take your pick. National championships galore for, I think, 4 or 5 programs. So I guess it's the thought would be the next thing is men's basketball.
Yeah, and that's where I think, again, I distinctly remember, and maybe it was when Greg Sankey took over, because this has maybe been 8 years or so, where he had either made a comment or it was put out there that the rededication to men's basketball and putting the resources into the sport to grow the programs across the board and not just be the Floridas and the Kentuckys that we were seeing in the early 2000s. And so you've seen the schools make those dedications. I mean, you go back to Ole Miss building that new pavilion, and that's been there for a while, and really putting in the money for the resources for the coaches. But there had to have been a conversation from the athletic directors and Greg Sankey of, okay, it's time to finally really invest in men's basketball and not just the quote-unquote basketball schools that the league has. Everyone needs to be a basketball school too when football season is over, and we're seeing that right now 9 years later.
Just how hard were you rooting for the Houston Cougars last night?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a lot. I don't know if anyone saw my Twitter post, but it says, who wins tonight, Houston or Houston? If that speaks at all volumes of what I was feeling last night. And then I got a text right as those final seconds were winding down, just like, the hell if Florida actually wins this game. Like, let's see what these next couple seconds are. And then, of course, like, I got a couple when the game was over. That was just like, man, that was tough. So absolutely no love lost, and I turned my phone off, and luckily for me, there's no need for me right now to go down any sports rabbit holes that's going to remind me of who won a national title yesterday. So I've had quite the day not having to remind myself about it too much.
Way too early. Top 25 always comes out right now. Arkansas's in the top 10. I guess we kind of know who a couple of our starters are. Let's grade Coach since the season's over. What do you give Coach Cal year one? What kind of grade would you give him? And then what kind of reasonable? What are you thinking next year? What are expectations?
Golly, I think the first thing that popped into my head was at least an A-, only because it'd be one thing if this whole entire season was consistent and they were good at the whole time, but to actually see Cal take a team that on paper was so talented, have so many ups and downs to start the season with injuries and just figuring out guys' roles, the way they started the SEC, and continuing to make them focus on the goal and knowing that there was time to turn things around and get better. I mean, I don't know from a coaching perspective if you could have asked anything more from John Calipari in terms of just keeping this team together and focused and seeing what we were able to see from them there at the end of the year. And you don't want every year to be like that, right? You don't want to go through these ups and downs every year, but I mean, it was incredible to see how it started, kind of where they were in the middle of the season and then where they ended. Because I know that I was this way, and I'm sure many other people were too. It was like, I'll make plans in March. There's no way this team's making the tournament. And there they go to the Sweet 16. So I just think that speaks volumes about the coaching that he did with this team throughout the season. Coaching isn't just putting together a roster and hoping for the best, right? Getting the best guys in and hoping for the best when games start playing. It's making sure that guys, when things are happening that are negative or losing or making, guys are making mistakes, guys are getting injured. Like, how do you keep this team together? And he did a phenomenal job in doing that, in my opinion.
Well, I think also it's proven that he's going to give you reasons to believe that every year you might be in the very same position you were in this year of being in the Sweet 16 or having the talent to make it even farther than that. Just like the baseball team is on an annual basis too, in the same kind of position. Mm-hmm. So I know you were at Swatters Club yesterday.
Yeah.
When I hear the quote that Dave brought out about Nate Thompson, and he didn't say his name, he said our hitting coach, I was not surprised at all. Sure. It's just because he is such a loyal person, but he also would not have, had that kind of defiant tone had he not completely believed in what it is that he's watching right now. And it's not a victory lap. I think it's him saying it's not him telling fans to believe what it is they're seeing, but he believes in what it is that he's seeing. And, I'm not sure if he did last year when the team also was number one and you're wondering, well, we're going to find ways to win games. No, this team just outslugs the other team.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive, those numbers that he listed off of where they are in the SEC and where they are offensively just in the nation and the way that guys are just making contact right now. The confidence that this lineup has top to bottom and the way that they're hitting. When he got it offense, because he's like, it's not just hitting. He talked about on-base percentage and they're patient at the plate with their walks. And, that's just as important as getting a timely hit or hitting a home run or hitting a grand slam. And, yeah, Nate Thompson definitely deserves the flowers because I think so many fans so quick to jump on Nate Thompson and not being a good hitting coach and not doing things correctly. And there were stories out there and all of those things. And we got to sit down. I got to sit down with Nate before the season started, and it was really good to talk to him and pick his brain about his approach and how he handles one player to another and how he definitely pours into these guys because he knows. And he brought up an example with Jared Wagner last season or a few seasons ago where he was just like, we had a great relationship. I poured into that relationship to where there was a moment during the SEC tournament where I needed to get on him a little bit because of something that had happened at the plate, and he responded the very next at bat and hit a home run. He's like, moments like that, like that's why I do what I do, because I know how to bring out the best in each individual player and what they need offensively. And I asked him about the criticism, and he goes, that's not what we do it for. Like, we love the fact that we wear the A on our chest, but at the same time, like, we trust the process. And he kept repeating that, trust the process. And it was really cool to kind of hear from Nate Thompson himself. And now being able to see that process that, sometimes works and sometimes it just doesn't work. But it's working right now, and for Dave to recognize that yesterday, I thought was really important for Nate.
Hey, Alyssa, let's leave it there. Always appreciate your time on these Tuesdays. Looking forward to next week. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks, guys. See ya.
So Alyssa Orange with us every Tuesday on Halftime. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We'll get into much more in just a moment.
This is Halftime.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
This is Halftime.
All right, let's break someone's clavicle on 3. 1, 2, 3. Break someone's clavicle. Hit the field. Let's go. Move it. Move it.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Founded in 1976, Moix RV has always focused on bringing family and friends together, and this has never been truer than now. As we continue into our 50th year, we are proud to be a family-owned and operated Arkansas original. With marquee manufacturers like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Forest River, and Winnebago, we have the RV for your next adventure at prices that will not be beat. Moix RV, built for adventure, rooted in Arkansas. Visit us in Conway, Hot Springs, and Springdale, or online at moixrv.com.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please text H2H Mystery to 44834 or call us at 479-452-2260. Heart to Heart's Mystery at the Forest, April 26th.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
nights alone, been sleeping all alone. Calling you. I've been on the phone, I've been all alone. I won't miss you.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
This is the Stone song that's going to be stuck in my head the rest of the day.
That's
Thank you.
That's a top 10 Stone song. I don't care how you chop them up, but that right there, "Miss You" by the Rollins, that's a top 10 Stone song.
Not asking this question for any criticism at all, but maybe I forgot. I'm allowed to forget something an hour after I heard it, because C-Unit can forget a movie he's seen 2 months after he's seen it. Why are we doing Stones again?
Because they rock.
Perfect. Doc says they should have stopped after 2 albums. He said Aerosmith and the Rolling Stones should have stopped after 2 albums.
Well,
He's not a fan, but he did want to hear
Who does
Bill
he
Withers
like?
or the Allman Brothers.
Oh, okay. That's who he likes.
Then I really wouldn't have known who they are if they stopped after 2 albums.
You know who the Allman Brothers are, right?
Yeah.
And you know who you don't know who them. Do you believe when he says that? I don't believe when he says that.
When I know, I've heard their name before.
I'm sure you've heard the name before.
One says almonds
But I don't
and one's
know 'em.
mounds. Yeah. Makes you feel like a nut.
Ryan also says he enjoys what he's seeing from this baseball team, but he won't believe it until they prove they can win a home regional again. Well, truthfully, losing home regionals 2 years in a row, when you win every home series in the regular season, will do that to you.
Hey, look, you look at the last end of our schedule, Phil. I think it's kind of like the basketball schedule. I mean, you're gonna be battle tested. Do you like having a tough early part of your schedule, or do you like the fact that they're going to be battle tested those last few series? I mean, those are some tough series.
I think the teams that lost in the regional, super regionals just didn't have it. Like, it wasn't like a massive upset.
The right team won.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think they did. I mean,
2 seasons ago, they were banged up. Yeah. They were the 2 best hitters on the team. Wagner and Josenberger were banged up and were shadows of what they were when it came time for the regional. And you ran into a team in TCU that could not be stopped. Last year, the whole season was built around not overthrowing Hagen Smith so that he would be ready to go on a Saturday in a home regional, and you give him a lead, and in the 5th inning, it just didn't work. It just didn't work, and it was a team that couldn't beat you in a number of ways. Like I think this team can, and has shown so far. I think they can outpitch some teams on a weekend. This next weekend, I think that's also partially what this is about. I think the Razorback pitching staff is better than the Georgia pitching staff, but you're in their ballpark, so it's going to be a little bit tougher. But to your point, Matt, Georgia's the kind of offense, the kind of lineup that you see in Omaha. Maybe the sort of pitching staff you see. But once you get to the last 3 weeks, Texas, LSU, and Tennessee are 3 of the best pitching staffs in the country. Deep starting rotations, deep bullpens, guys with velocity, lefties, righties, the whole shebang. And Texas right now, 2nd best ERA in the country. LSU, 8th best ERA in the country. Tennessee, 3rd best ERA in the country. So those are those the kind of lineup you're going to see in a home regional? No. You're not going to see that kind of pitching in a home regional. You probably won't see lineups that are you won't see lineups that are as powerful as those 3 in a home regional. So, and I understand too, Ryan, the idea of not believing what you see until it occurs in a home regional. Well, when you win 2 out of 3 against Ole Miss on the road, and Ole Miss right now is in a position where they could host. And Vanderbilt, that's a tournament team. I don't think a really good tournament team, but a tournament team. That's the kind of team that you may face when you host a home regional. So I'm seeing they're beating teams that I think are better than they might face in a home regional. But that happened last year too, and they ended up losing the home regional. So again, I don't blame you for feeling that way, because it's been shown to you the last couple of years. 877-377-6963. James is here in Pottsville on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Hello, James. How are you?
I'm doing well. Excited about baseball. I had a couple questions. I hadn't heard anything lately about Gage Wood. You know any updates on him?
All I know is that right now what they need is his velocity to get a little better from where it might be right now. I think he's healthy. I think it sounds like it's going fairly well. Just I don't think they want to rush him back, and it is something. Go ahead, Christian. That DVH did address this past week, or I think yesterday at the Swatters Club.
Gage is an extremely hard worker, and he's very serious, and he threw a pin a couple days ago. I was actually up in the weight room, and I watched through the window. He's indoor, and it looked really good. He's getting there. I think pain-free, and I saw the other day he's throwing the ball 90 miles an hour with ease, and if he makes it the next bullpen, and he's still good, I think, you get over the hump, and that's what we're hoping.
Yeah, so it sounds like one more bullpen, and that would be over the hump. So maybe next week against the Aggies, but not this week against Georgia.
Okay. Well, one other question. I really like Jimenez. What do you think about him maybe starting sometime?
He has the kind of stuff that could start, but I really like him coming out of the bullpen because that's a guy that I trust to inherit runners because he throws strikes. He's good against righties and lefties. We saw him. He used a changeup this last game that he pitched. So he throws a really tough cutter, which is deadly on lefties. And it's good on righties, too. But now he's got a pitch that I don't think was even on his report from preseason, a changeup that fades away from lefties in towards righties. So the cutter moves in the other direction. The changeup goes in the other. Man, he is really tough. Fastball velocity is really good, too. Yes, James, I think he's got a starter's repertoire, but I also know right now he's the best reliever. And I don't think they'll change that role for him.
Man, you're probably right. He's good for, sometimes 4 innings, I think, out of the bullpen. So
Yeah. I think what they would like to use him, I think he'll start an inning maybe, but Root gets into an issue 6th inning, 7th inning. A couple guys on base, 1-run ball game. Who are they going to go to inherit those runners? Right now, I think it's Aiden Jimenez. And you probably are not starting that guy, even though he can go and give you more innings, until there's either an injury or somebody's not pitching really well, because that's an incredibly important role. And that's a reason why they've taken a jump, because Jimenez has emerged. It's been about a month now. Right around, even after Parker Coyle emerged, Jimenez came right after him. And he's been a huge difference, James, yes.
I think he's really good, and you're probably right about his role is really, really important in putting out fires and and all that. So, all right, I just had a couple questions. So, thanks so much.
Thanks, James. Appreciate that. Yeah. He serves a little bit of what a Kevin Kopp's role was. It's kind of what Will McIntyre was doing last year. It's somebody that could start, but the value of having a reliever that you trust to come into pressure cookers and inherit base runners that aren't his own, and the moment you come out of the bullpen, you've got to be locked in and focused and ready to compete and have the stuff to do it. That's maybe even a more important role than your starting pitcher that day. Think of how important Kevin Kopp's was to that 2021 team. How many games did he start? 1, the last game. Jimenez is, I wouldn't put him at the Kopp's level, but he's that style pitcher, at least right now. Craving anything sweet and delicious, not just a great outing by Aiden Jimenez or any Arkansas reliever. Andy's Frozen Custard has you covered with the greatest frozen treats around. Oh, thinking right now about the James Brownie Funky Jackhammer. It makes you dance, makes you do the splits. You won't even tear your pants. Andy's Frozen Custard is blended with creamy peanut butter and brownies, then filled with hot fudge. It's delicious. It's creamy, it's frozen, and it's at Andy's as well. Don't leave empty-handed. Take home pick 6. 6 of your favorite flavors, perfect game time treat. Andy's Frozen Custard. They're on Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith. They're in Conway on Dave Ward Drive and East Oak Street, and in North Little Rock on JFK Boulevard. Andy's Frozen Custard, walk up or drive through, ready to serve you. And we're back to wrap up the second hour of halftime in just a moment.
I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. This is halftime.
Picture it. It's a day like any other.
You're stuck in traffic on Rogers Avenue during rush hour. You're just ready to get home and relax with your family. And then, just like that, your life can change in an instant. And you're going to need a lawyer to make it right. I'm Phil Votaw with Phil Votaw & Associates. If this happens to you, call me, 479-434-6200, or online at votawlaw.com. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. How about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more. Call or text Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747. That's 479-274-1747. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Decisions aren't hard when no matter what you choose, you win. Like with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 classic box with iconic favorites like a beefy 5-layer burrito, the $7 Supreme box with the chicken chalupa supreme, and more. Or find new obsessions in the $9 Discovery box. Get yours at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Surviving on the street. So alarming, my lover's alarming. Let's just start the party on the street. Big people crushing and big bags of the rental trash. Bash.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Matt, I don't pay too much attention to the NBA right now, but
you're smart.
The Nuggets have fired coach Mike Malone and general manager Calvin Booth. This according to a report from Shams Charania from ESPN. Reigning NBA champ, 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. Firing their head coach. In my mind still, and for some reason in my mind I'd forgotten for a moment, the Celtics were the champions from last year. So not quite the same.
NBA is a fickle business. You've seen coaches of the year. What Milwaukee's been through, 3 coaches, and they fired their coach the next year after they won a. Mm-hmm. It's the most player friendly league I've ever seen in my life. It's almost like an individual sport like golf. If the two, I guess Jamal Murray would be a superstar on that team, the Canadian, which he's nice piece, nice. But the Joker's a top 3 player in the NBA, right? Some would have him at number 1. Don't you think there's something that's said in between those two guys? Like, that's who makes the decision in the NBA.
That's kind of what I anticipate. That's what I would
like. LeBron James, they're like LeBron James is a coach killer. Not really. It's just if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
They haven't really improved their roster after they won.
They haven't done much.
Won the NBA championship, and you can't really regress after you win a championship and you start regressing. That's usually when coaches get fired.
Well, it also comes at a 4-game losing streak. I mean, they're 47-32. It's not like that's a bad record, but I guess they're in their mind the writing's on the wall here, huh? Not looking really good. Not looking like you may make it out of a first-round matchup potentially with Memphis or Minnesota.
You got to look. So this is what your boy Wimby was talking about. Windhorse. Look. So this NBA actually, what you do is you look at the L column first. Look at all those teams with 32. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 teams with 32 losses, and the Nuggets are one of them. So those teams with 46, they actually are a half game above them, but they're down below them right now. So those guys win, then Denver will go back. And so what I'm trying to say is they could be in the play-in.
Yeah,
game.
They're a loss away from being in that play-in tournament.
Yeah.
And how many games are left here? Let's see. That would be 70. There's not many games left.
Yeah, there's not a lot of games.
Less than 8 games left. Maybe like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That's great. Fire your head
play
coach
82 games,
just before you go into the playoffs. I'm pretty sure that worked for Michigan basketball in 1989. Although they didn't fire the coach, he just left. That was You remember that?
That means you think the coach really is the
my
problem.
question to both you guys is, how many times in the history of sport has that worked? You fire your coach, or how many times, I guess, has this happened, but how many times do you fire your coach in the middle of the season or at the end of the season, and then you think you're going to go and have success in the playoffs and win this? So they're giving up. What it tells me is it has to be, it's worse than what we thought, because there's no way that you fire an NBA championship coach right now, right before the playoffs, when you have the best player. What's the NBA? Who's always in the finals? The guys that are the best players in the game. Those are the guys that make it to the finals in the NBA. The Joker is a top 3 player in the NBA, and they're giving up on the year.
Michigan, 1980, Michigan won the national championship with an interim coach because Bill Frieder left to go to Arizona State.
Didn't Ed Orgeron do that at LSU? Didn't Luke Walton step in for Steve Kerr and win all those games and didn't get credit for it? So, I mean, you have things happen, yeah.
But it's the thing in the mind of the players, though, because in some cases there's the coach is sick or something's wrong and he can't be there. But in this case, this was Michigan. Their coach, he left, said, "I'm going to go. I'm going to Arizona State. You, Steve Fisher, take these players, see what you can do with them.
See what you can do with Glenn Rice.
They win a national championship. Yeah. So what could you do with Glenn Rice and Ramil Robinson? 877-377-6963. Calls and texts coming in on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, about 20 minutes from right now. And we are right back.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Spring is in the air, and Jelco Outdoors has all the gear you need to get outside and enjoy the spring season. Just arrived. Crispy footwear, comfortable boots for hiking, hunting, and work to help you cover some ground. Spring clothing by Ariat, Wrangler, Under Armour, and more. Just arrived hunting gear for spring turkey season. Shotguns, ammo, clothing, and footwear. And the largest selection of turkey calls around. Think spring. Think Jelco Outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, no win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Hey, Tuesdays is a great day to stop by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I know everyone thinks tacos on Tuesday, Brooklyn, but you guys have taco pizzas on special as well, plus some special drink prices on Mexican beers.
Yes, we have our $1 off Mexican imports, $2 off margaritas, $1 off when wearing a Papa's t-shirt.
How many Papa's Pub t-shirts do you have?
Quite a bit right now in stock.
Come on by and see us at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the low to mid 60s. Clear skies tonight. Overnight low in the low to mid 40s. Wednesday, sunshine. Our high will be in the low 70s. And more sunshine back with us on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Good pick, good pick.
KERX Paris Fort Smith.
The drinking all day.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What name but one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back in our third hour of halftime. It's ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Seaburger Movie Unit, Kristen Johnston with us producing, and Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, about 15 minutes from now.
Dropping it like it's hot, like the stock market with the tariffs.
So, nobody even brought up the idea of the game and the opponent that Arkansas is playing today, Arkansas State. It's just not a big deal anymore. Now it's just another opponent that you're playing. It'll feel different, though, when football season comes around and Sam Pittman's team opens up his 7th year as the head coach against Arkansas State in War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock, and programs that have never met. Baseball's met 4 times, beaten them each game, and it just doesn't feel like anything's earth-shattering about it because it isn't.
You just don't want to lose it.
Could you have
It
a
wouldn't
Denver
matter.
Nuggets? Could you have a Denver Nuggets situation if Coach Pittman loses to the Indians to open the season, where it's like Jack Crow? Because Frank Broyles walked down. We lost to the Citadel. Frank Broyles walked right down there before he could even get the sweat. I mean, he was fired. I think we'll beat Arkansas State.
I think they're going to beat them.
Yeah.
Don't lose to them. Yeah, it's the same idea, but they're not going to lose today either.
Even if you beat them by 2 runs, 1 run, I mean, that's all that matters is you beat them. Like
that's your boy from the Detroit Lions. He said, "I don't care if they outgain us by 1,000 yards as long as we have 1 more point on the scoreboard at the end of the game."
Arkansas State averages 4.6 runs a game offensively. Sometimes that's an inning for Arkansas in one game. That's 1 inning in a game occasionally is about what Arkansas State averages. Hogs are going to beat them today. I feel pretty confident about that. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. And I know baseball's a crazy sport. You never know and everything like that. I'm not a betting man about this. I'm not telling you what to do with it. I don't even know what the line is on today's game, but Arkansas will win the baseball game today. We got Brent in Searcy with us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. And Brent, good afternoon. What's up?
Good afternoon, Phil and Matt. How are you guys today?
That answers the question.
I am outstanding because I just got done eating lunch at Neil's Cafe in Springdale.
Ooh,
lucky.
That's good. That's really good.
Oh yeah. Had the chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, pinto beans, and fried okra.
I still got another hour of work, but my stomach doesn't feel like I got another hour of work. Yeah. Thank you, Brent.
You're speaking everybody's language.
You're welcome. Hey, Matt, I'll come and take you to lunch in Fort Smith one day after you get off at 2:00.
There we go. I got a little Mexican joint right down the road, man. They'll take good care of us.
Come on, let's go get a taco.
Let's go get a taco.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about. Hey, Phil, how about this? I know Arkansas State's like 14-17, right?
Yes. That's the exact record.
Who is our starting pitcher tonight, Phil? Is it the Big Tuna?
No, the Tuna's not going to be pitching as a starter for the time being while Parker Coyle's hurt. So Tate McGuire gets the ball instead.
Okay. You know who I was impressed with the times he's pitched this year? Is his first name Steele Eves, is that it?
Steele Eves. Yes, from Lone Oak. From Lone Oak, that's right.
He's got a chance here in a year or two.
I think so. He wouldn't. If he wouldn't be pitching as a freshman on this team if they don't think he got a chance to do something at some point. Yeah, I like his delivery. He's got a little bit of to me, it looks like he'd be really tough on righties.
Boy, this is. I hate to put. This is a big series coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Athens, Georgia, isn't it, Phil?
Absolutely, it is. And Georgia, it's big for Georgia too. After getting swept by Texas, they're gonna. I think it's not to put it for one team or the other, but it's huge for Georgia.
We got to realistically think we got to go take 2 out of 3.
Well, I think you realistically would go into every weekend thinking got a chance to do that. Do they have to do that? No. The season isn't going to hang on this series. And the season isn't going to hang just on one series at all. You're going to want to beat Tennessee because nobody here feels good about them. You're going to want to beat Texas because everybody here hates Texas. Same the feel about LSU. You lose one of those series, it's not going to end the season at all. Losing 2 out of 3 on the road to Georgia wouldn't hurt you. You don't want to go get swept. Remember that 2018 team that almost won the national title? How many road series did that team win? None. They didn't win a single road series. But what didn't happen? They never got swept. They always won at least one game. So losing a series is never going to be the end of the world. Getting swept is never a good sign. That's how I go into this weekend thinking about it. But I also think, Brent, that they have a chance to win every series they play.
Oh, I agree. my feelings about Texas, I despise Texas, but you know what I despise most about Texas baseball? Their head coach,
Schlossnagle. Did you feel that way when he was at A&M?
Yes, because all the national pundits think he created the game of college baseball. I get he's successful and all that good stuff, but college baseball was a good product before Jim Schlossnagle was at TCU and won a national championship there. I don't know if he could win at Missouri though.
That would really test him. It definitely would test him. Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure who could. I'm not sure who could win at Missouri.
I'm not sure anybody. Honest. I'm not sure Abner Doubleday could win it. Or I don't know who all those. Connie Mack. I'm not sure he could win at Missouri.
You're a little bit too windy for those guys, Brent. Hey, it's good to hear from you, man. We'll see you at the ballpark later today. And I agree with you. Yeah, the situation with Missouri is kind of dire, I think, in baseball. But of course, the SEC network decided this is crazy. Unless they're changing their mind somehow, and I don't understand how you can't change your mind about this. The Arkansas-Georgia series is the best series this weekend in the SEC. It's all streaming only on SEC+. SEC Network, which is airing Arkansas and Arkansas State tonight, SEC Network is airing 2 of the 3 Missouri-Florida games. Missouri and Florida combined to go 1-23 in the SEC. And that's the series that's being shown twice this weekend. Not the Arkansas-Georgia series. Not the series that includes teams that would combine to go 19-5.
Who's your Final Four right now? I know we just did a college basketball field Final Four. Who are the 4 best teams in college baseball right now? I know they're necessarily, you don't know what bracket they're going to get on, but who would you say right now are the top 4 best teams in college? I mean, in Arkansas, obviously, is one of them.
Top 4 teams in college. They're all okay.
Are they all SEC?
It's Arkansas and the 3 teams they finished the season with. Texas, LSU, and Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not necessarily in that order, but pretty close to it. That's at least what it looks like right now. Complete teams, slugging, fielding, pitching, base running, and winning a lot of ball games too, home and road. Isn't that crazy? Those right now, but those are the top 4 teams in all the rankings, and that's what the end of the season is. Arkansas, Texas, LSU, Tennessee.
I wonder if that's advantage Arkansas because it's going to be a grind and it's going to be, I think iron sharpens iron, and I think when you play in teams like that, then you get into a regional. When you host a regional this year, I don't think there'll be a team as good as those other 3 teams in your regional. And so I think that's good. I mean, not that you overlook anybody, but you want to be playing your best basketball against the best competition you can when you're going into the tournament.
Well, they won't face anybody as good as those 3 teams in a regional at all. Probably not even in a super regional too. So, you can. I'm not telling anybody to believe what it is that you're seeing. It's all based upon your experience and how you feel about it. I believe what I'm seeing, but I think even to the most to the skeptic that feels like Chicken Little's always holding the sky up, those last 9 games, if they win 5 of them, if they win 6 of them, they win all 3 of those series, would you believe then? Or do you actually just need to see it the last weekend of May and into June and not even worry about the idea of belief? You just saw it happen. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Thanks to Crabtree RV Center in Alma being a part of Halftime since we started the show. They've also been serving our listening audience for over 75 years in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, giving every buyer and their family the best RV purchasing experience. They'll help you choose the right RV. There's personalized financing, top-of-the-line parts and service department on site at Crabtree RV, right where I-40 and I-49 come together beside the Cracker Barrel in Alma, and online at crabtreerv.com. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio joining us in just a moment on Halftime.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
You know what? Let's go watch. You and me, let's go watch the game.
Let's don't.
Come on, man.
I declared us friends. Let's not push
I'll
the
tell you
envelope.
what. I'll have a car service pick you up. I'll get you a pitcher of beer. You can have some of it, and then I'll have the car service take you home.
How long do I have to stay?
3 innings, 4 innings.
Nah.
Listen to the Chuck and Bo Show weekday mornings on ESPN Arkansas and on the Hit That Line app.
Every Wednesday night, take the kids to Joe's Grill and Cantina. They will get a delicious meal for $5. And Joe's is bringing out the crayons for a coloring contest where the kids can win cool prizes. And the fun is just starting. It's Kids Karaoke Night. Let that star shine. Join Joe's every Wednesday for Kids Night with the fun atmosphere of Joe's. Come for the food, stay for the fun. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Can you explain the infield fly rule? Neither can I, but I can help you navigate a variety of legal issues, from divorce to personal injury to estate planning. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, a new law firm offering affordable flat fees with payment plans available. You get an ace at the price of a minor leaguer. Now that sounds like a grand slam to me. Call Mock Legal Solutions for your free consultation, 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Let the fun begin at 810 Billiards and Bowling. We've got daily specials to keep the good times rolling. Martini Mondays along with bingo, $2 Tuesdays, high noon Wednesdays, and thirsty Thursdays. Plus, Friday is ladies' night. You love trivia? Join us on Wednesday for trivia night. Great food, great drinks, and endless fun all day, every day. All at 810 Billiards and Bowling, 5609 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. We'll see you there.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And that's it. No more conversations during commercial breaks with C-Unit here. What did I do to myself?
You got him all hopped up on Mountain Dew and powdered donuts over here, man. He's spider monkey, man. Come at you like a spider monkey.
Christian does a great job. I just
joke,
like to mess around with it.
I love Christian.
But I end up having a conversation with Kristen during the commercial break, and then it's like, well, so you got to always focus. You got to treat every segment, every commercial break, just like every Arkansas hitter treats every at bat. Doesn't matter if the score is 21-3 or not. You gotta treat it like it's Game 7 of the World Series, and you're zeroed in on every single pitch, and you're not coming out of the zone. And so he's just now calling Bill King.
He got it under the.
I left the zone. Like my brain just kind of
focus
drifted.
We need Unit to focus. All right, we've got the one and only Bill King with us from Nashville Sports Radio, the king of college football talk, hosting 6 to 9 on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. Bill, good afternoon. What's new in your world?
Hey, guys. Well, a team that had one win to date in league play went and hit 50 home runs against Tennessee. That happened.
That did. Texas A&M. That was, I did not see that one coming. Not a lot of people did see that one coming. And it moves Arkansas into number 1 right now. Number 1 in the country in all the polls. Folks here are a little bit nervous about it, but they do look, honestly, Bill, if you're paying attention, and I know you do, to college baseball, they do look like the number 1 team in the country right now.
This team hits the ball. The last 2 teams, last 2 years of Arkansas, and those teams were highly ballyhooed too. They didn't hit the ball. Not like this team. This team is clearly better.
I was listening to Bill today, and I loved it too because, you've even talked to us about how you're kind of newer into college baseball, but you've really gotten into it in the past, like 6-7 years or so. And so he says it's midweek shenanigans, and it's like, it takes maybe a year or two once you start getting into college baseball to realize what midweek games are like, because there's nothing like it in other college sports. Like, Bill, nothing like midweek shenanigans.
Because if you're not from that world, and I'm not, I'm a college football guy, and next college basketball, at least in the past, I would just assume baseball is like football. You pay somebody to come in, a baby seal, and you club them and send them home. That's not necessarily what you get on Tuesday night.
Who, Bill, looking around, I'd ask Phil about, who the top 4 teams in the country were. He said they're kind of all SEC guys. Give me the top 4 teams that are not SEC teams in baseball right now. Do you like Clemson, Florida State, Oregon State? Are any of these teams you think good enough to win in Omaha?
I would say Clemson's ranked, 3rd or 4th? Clemson's got to be. The Gus Bacchus does a fantastic job. Florida State just lost 2 to Wake, and it's kind of jolted them. I'd have them somewhere in my top 10. I would probably have the Beavers in there. You mentioned them, and heck, maybe Georgia Tech's really good. Georgia Tech's got a kid that everybody wanted in the portal a year ago as a freshman. I may have Tech in there somewhere.
Could you buy into Coastal Carolina making a run?
I love Coastal Carolina. One of my sounds weird, but top listeners, if that's something, is a guy that does a lot of work. His construction company at Coastal, and he's a Buckeye fan, but he supports the heck out of them with their NIL stuff, and they are really good. Liam Doyle, who is Tennessee's lefty Friday night pitcher, started at Coastal before going to Ole Miss and then Tennessee. They've got dudes. They have dudes. You got to remember, and you guys will probably know the year better than me, Coastal Carolina, 10 years ago, someone that won the national championship.
It was 16. It was 20.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 16. That's a standalone national championship, Bill. College basketball,
right?
Women's basketball, men's basketball, baseball, football. That, to me, that Coastal Carolina title is a standalone thing.
Correct. You can't. and they won that thing. I mean, they went through the grinder just like anybody else, and last team standing.
Bill also had brought up, because this is Todd Golden. How long has he been a coach now? It's his, I think it's his third year in Florida, 6 years, because he was San Francisco before that. It's pretty early in a head coaching tenure to win a Division I national championship. But then you'd brought up a guy who had done that in football and has got Arkansas roots too. Danny Ford won a national title at Clemson in his 4th year as a head coach.
Danny in 1981. I think he was maybe 30 at the time. Todd Golden, year 6. Bob Stoops in year 2 in 2000 won it at Oklahoma. And we're talking about in your head coaching career, not just your entire coaching career, but head coaching career. That's rarefied air. I'm sure we're skipping somebody, but I think Gene Chizik at Auburn in 2010 was only a couple of years in as well.
Hey, Bill, I want to ask you a question as far as the draft, and I'm not saying that you have to watch the draft or whatever, but when you hear the stats in SEC, they usually have more of the talent drafted in the first round, and this year it doesn't look like it. It looks like the SEC might be down a little bit. Are you buying into any of that the Big Ten could be better than the SEC?
This year, yes.
You think they were this year, yeah.
I think so, and I think for the longest stretch, the SEC has been the king in every category about winning and draft picks and whatever it might be. But I don't think so this year because Georgia won the league, and it was kind of a bad year for them, if that's possible. But that's the bar that's set in Athens, and they had some injury problems. They weren't very good at wide receiver. There's a bunch of reasons for this. And Alabama, you can't be the league you're supposed to be if Alabama's not right. That's just a historic fact. And let's face it, Alabama had lots of issues that we're not used to seeing there.
I'm seeing this. What are you buying into Isaac Tesla? Because this one is kind of very intriguing to me. I'm looking at draft boards. I'm trying to figure out, you had Xavier, I call him Reposado, at Miami, runs a 4.88. I don't know how anybody in the NFL plays receiver at a 4.88. Isaac Tesla running a 4.3, kind of moving up the draft boards. Did you see enough from Isaac Tesla to think that makes him go? I mean, if you're a top 25 receiver, that means you're going to get drafted.
Here's my stance. I'm going to evaluate a player first, playing football. And 90% of my decision, maybe 98%, is going to be based on that. And not what I see on an indoor track in underwear.
He's ranked ahead of Andrew Armstrong. I mean, our guy that was the All-SEC first team, they have him ranked ahead of him. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No. I'm not making any changes in my evaluation based on underwear Olympics. And I've seen it happen. We've all seen it happen any number of times. Why would I change a football analysis on a track? I just don't understand that. You already know he's fast.
I know he has great hands. I just kind of wonder sometimes. You see Shedeur Sanders dropping down. You see certain players kind of. Somebody said the arm length of that LSU tackle wasn't good enough, so he's not going to be a top 10 pick. It just some of the stuff. I'm like, go back and watch the tape and watch him play. Don't tell me kind of like what you're saying. Do you think that tackle from LSU? I mean, I think he's a can't miss prospect. Do you think he goes on to the NFL and has success? Of course, if he stays healthy.
And maybe he's a right tackle.
Right.
So what? Right? I mean, he's a player. Maybe he doesn't have the arm length of a left tackle, which is important. It's not the only item, but it's important. And maybe you make him a superstar right tackle. Notre Dame's got a kid. He's not in the draft, but he's going to be in a year. Charles Jagasaw missed almost the whole year. He's their left tackle. And they played him in the Penn State game. First game he got to play in the playoffs. And they played him at right guard, and he dominated. And he's 6'7", 240, which is kind of not high. But they're going to leave him. So sometimes you find out the position you've been anointed, you're better at another position. And he may be the best interior lineman in the country, guys, and we saw them in one game.
I want to ask about, so yesterday, Judge Wilkin didn't approve this all-encompassing settlement that will change college sports, but indicated that she will if a couple of things get addressed. And one of them is something that coaches have been decrying since the word came out about no more scholarship limits, and it's just roster limits. And you were down to 105 for football and down to 34 for baseball, and some other sports had some incredibly drastic changes. And maybe other sports will end up with drastic changes just because the money's completely different. But it also sounds like that is a sticking point right now for the current athletes that may have had their careers end prematurely. So it sounds like as long as the schools go along with this, and I think they may have to go along with this if they want this thing approved, that the roster limits will kind of be a little bit just like just amoeba-like. It'll just kind of float a little bit depending on how many players you have on your roster in the next few years that were around right now.
I think that's very reasonable as well. She doesn't want the judge any current players to be affected based on immediate new rules. Grandfather it in. Now, you're going to have to get to that number. I'm not sure what that is going to be, meaning what year that's going to be or how they're going to work through that. But I think that's not the end of the world, but I think it's a nice gesture. And I'm like you. I think we're going to get this done. I think everybody, at least the leadership, and I say that with air quotes, right? They're satisfied with this as well.
It's going to go along with contracts. Are we doing contracts in which you show up on campus and potentially you're locked in for at least 2 years and there's nothing you can do about it?
Unclear. I don't necessarily know that's going to happen. I would think it would. I don't know if that's much of a discussion right now.
Are they doing any?
Maybe in Dallas they're talking about it when they were meeting about the playoffs and everything. But I would think so if you want to simmer this Wild West lawless situation we're in right now.
I don't understand why we don't hear anything about the student part anymore. How do we not have, if you graduate, you can transfer for free. If you're on track with your studies, then you can transfer. I don't understand. Where did the student part go in college athletes?
I'd say from about 1990 till now, that's only just goodwill talk. Just to make it look like you care, right? If you're an administrator or the coach or the AD, this has not been about the student in the classroom for many years. And it's only getting worse, guys. Most of these guys don't have to go to a class. It's either online or they're not doing it, right? They're not going to class anyways.
Bill, we're out of time. We'll leave it there and maybe get in a little bit more of this in another week or so. Appreciate you, man. A good show today. It was a lot of fun.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it, guys.
Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, 6 to 9, Monday through Friday, WNSR. Our number for the Lewis Automotive Group hotline at halftime is 877-377-6963. Be right back for the home stretch.
You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
This is halftime.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Sharp Equipment is your one-stop shop for heavy equipment. Whether your machine's rattling, sputtering, or flat out refusing to start, we've got the parts and expertise to get you moving again. Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Look no further than Sharp Equipment, an authorized Wacker Newson dealer. Needing hydraulic or industrial hoses? Sharp Equipment's got what you need. Come see us at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500. At Sharp Equipment, we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Used to be the troublemaker, paid on my was a sweet heartbreaker. But now I have my dream. I'm surrounded by 18. Never let a single ball. Paid home again the dirty looks. But now I live my life. There's a lot I've seen and 18. Oh yeah. School days, I'm older now, and what will I find but mine? School days, starting to slip, I'm losing my mind.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
A couple of minutes ago on his personal Instagram page, Adu Thero sent out one of those messages that starts with giving a lot of glory and ending with declaring for the NBA draft. Adu Thero is entering the NBA. No, that's not entering. That's declaring for, just like Boogie Fland, the NBA draft, which is still like a little less than 3 months away.
We have to remember Devo Davis did this last year too. So that's right. They're entering to go get evaluated, to get advice, and so that doesn't mean he's gone.
It just means he wants to play in the NBA.
And all
That's
those
what it means
kids,
to
all
me.
those kids want to play in the NBA. I get that. I get that. It's he was our best player when healthy, two-way player, 100%. I think. I don't know much, but he was our best offensive, just all-around ball player. I thought he was our best player when healthy. No question. And the other thing, Phil, he has the athletic ability to play in the NBA. That's sometimes you look at certain players and you're like, do they have that athletic? He actually not. He's not ready skill wise. He's not. But as far as athletic ability, I do. I think he has the athletic ability to play.
There's an explosiveness to what he does. That not just athleticism, but strength and power that goes along with it, and an intensity too. He's got a little shot. He's got a shot. I think from the outside.
Plays defense. He's tough. He's grimy. If you're a young player when you get to that level. If you're not and you're not, especially if you're on a good team, he's not going to be getting in the first three of like an offensive role. So you wouldn't know what you have to do. You got to play defense. I think he can.
Such a difficult, thing I feel for basketball players to decide what it is they're going to do for that next level. Because if you don't make the big club and it's so difficult to do it, it's not like there's some minor league system where you're just going to go develop. The G League for me, I mean, it's not the same as being a part of a real player development system in which baseball players are drafted into. But I don't blame them for at least wanting to get advice, to hear who may be making those decisions, who's picking where, and all of that, what it is that they need to work on if they're really going to be considered for the next level, or hear the hard things about, you know what, you're more middle second round than late first round, that kind of thing. This is what this is about now, and it's a longer process. And there's that month where you can declare for the draft, you can hear all the things you need to hear, and then make a decision from there. So Boogie in the draft, sure. Adu in the draft, sure. Do they stay in the draft?
When you're not 6 foot or when you're 6'1", you think about the NBA. If you watch the NBA, how many guys that are 6'1" play in the NBA? You don't see a lot of them, and if they do, they have to be they have to have a superpower. If it's their vision, if it's their handles, if it's their shot, and sometimes you got to have two when you're undersized. I like Boogie's skill set. I like his awareness. There's some of his attributes I like. I just think he's still a baby. He's still 5 years away before he's even close to leading an NBA franchise. Do you want to go in the Chesapeake Bay League, or do you want to lead an Arkansas team to a Final Four and get real reps? That's just kind of. And if you're not a first round pick, where can you make more money, Phil? Who I think you can make more money playing college basketball if you're not a first round pick.
So that's another shoe to drop. Now we know about. Well, you already know Adu's gone. Nelly's gone. They're out of eligibility. Big Z goes to Illinois. Boogie and Adu to the draft. So now there's 4 more players that you're waiting for, and you're still going to be waiting for other decisions, or I guess some kind of an announcement if whether or not Boogie's coming out of the draft or Adu's coming out of the draft. But also for me, I wonder if you're going into the draft and you still won't know for another more than a month whether or not they'll stay in the draft, you just can't act as if they'll be part of the plans for next year.
That way too early had Brazil starting at the 5 spot.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was kind of weird.
That's the whole thing. It's this, you got to wait too early, top 25 out of ESPN and all these other ranking services the day after the national championship game, because they do the same thing for football, because everybody loves to read about rankings. Nobody has any idea what these rosters will look like. Just a snapshot of the talent that may return to the roster and the talent that is in your incoming freshman class and who the coach is. And based off of that, I'd be fine with where they picked Arkansas, which I think was 7th preseason, for way too early. Not even preseason. Way too early before the preseason.
One spot ahead of the Boozer twins. They had both the Boozer twins starting at Duke. They had 3 freshmen starting at Houston for next year, and they had them the number 1 team coming back. I have to wonder about some of these rankings. It's like 3 freshmen are not going to take a team and win a national title.
They didn't have a single freshman playing for them this year. Or at least now.
I think Houston takes a step back next year.
Arkansas ranked 20th in the final AP poll. 8 SEC teams were ranked in the top 25 to finish the season. And Arkansas ranked 20th, though you made the Sweet 16. It didn't mean you're in the last, top 16 teams, but there it is. I mean, the Hogs were not ranked from the moment they fell out of the rankings, which would have been probably right after the Tennessee loss.
Somewhere in that 0-5 streak, yeah.
Yes. And after getting your head handed to you by Tennessee, I think you might have fallen out of the rankings from there. And then they get back in the final rankings on the strength of a Sweet 16, and then and we still call it preseason. I can't. The way too early poll has you at 7th for next year. And how do you, fans listening, feel about that? I actually think it makes sense, knowing of the talent that's in that recruiting class, and knowing about how Cal can recruit, knowing the kind of money that will be there to get who maybe you want out of the portal, and the shoes continue to drop. So now you know you're going to need somebody who's a powerful forward that can score and rebound for you and do some of everything like a dude did. And you can't act like you hope he's going to come back. Like that can't even be a thought any longer for Cal or the coaching staff. It's like, well, it's not that, oh gosh, you went into the draft, so we're just done with you. No, it's you got to build your team, and right now they're not part of your team.
Well, how healthy is he? The dude that we saw in the NCAA tournament, that guy, that's not healthy enough. The dude that we saw in conference play is. I think if he's healthy, Phil, he'll get drafted in the second round. So like somebody will pluck him, and just you got to go in there. We hadn't heard from Ricky Council since he got drafted. It's hard as a second round pick. We forget 32 NBA teams. 12 guys on a team, 12. There's not that many starting spots out. I mean, there's really not. It's not like you have 8 rounds of a draft and people. There's really about 15 to 20 spots that are open for jobs.
And you already got a job at Arkansas if you wanted to.
And it's such a we live in such a beautiful time. I mean, it's a great, Phil, it's a great time to be a college athlete. And the amount of money you could make and the wear and tear on you. You think about playing with grown men, the wear and tear on your body, the fact that you're not going to play, the fact that you're going to sit your ass there on the bench and watch people play. Oh my goodness, let me go play. Let me go make $1 million playing college basketball. It's like, I just wonder who's in all these kids' heads.
Do you go, if you're one of Cal's guys, like, do you talk to him about it? Do you sit with the coaches? I mean, they're getting you, they're developing you. They know why you're coming here to play at Arkansas, to play for them. Why does Kenny Payne get a big man come play for him? Because he's helped turn really talented high schoolers into NBA big men before and has a track record of doing it. Don't you talk to him about that if you're a Dew?
Well, were we talking about 9 or 3?
Talking about a Dew Thero.
Yeah, 3. Well, he's not a big man. He's a wing. He's a small forward. He's not a.
But you got a coaching. What all I'm saying is you got a coaching staff that's done that with other positions too.
Yeah, we're going to talk with. It's like you said. You brought exit meetings. Yes, you're going to talk with your guys. You're going to be evaluated. You're going to have some tough love. You're going to try to have some real words spoken to each other. All these kids know they're not that they're unfinished products. So there's still work to be done.
877-377-6963 calls and texts. Council's on the Sixers. That's a team that's really
no. I know right? He is, but it's like he's not. And bless his heart, he's got athletic ability and he can play, but you're not. Think about we saw Ricky Council the 4th play at Arkansas. We just saw number 3 play at Arkansas. There's not much difference in those two guys playing. That's what I'm saying. They both made that free throw. They're both uber athletic. I mean, they can do certain things, but there's not a whole lot of difference in those two cats right there.
So still waiting on word from Trevin Brazil, from Knox, Richmond, and Wagner. Those are the next 4 shoes to drop, I guess is the way we might put it.
I know that Ricky Council, guys, plays for Philly. I'm saying he's not playing. Y'all aren't listening.
Let's break. We'll come back, wrap up the show right after this.
Baseball, movies, good clothes, fast cars, whiskey, and you.
This is Halftime.
It's Kubota Orange Days at Gray Brothers Equipment with interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months and reduced pricing on all Kubota inventory. It's time for your new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 6/30/25, see Gray Brothers Equipment or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Bounce on into Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas for the best deals on new and pre-owned RVs. Whether you're looking for a motorhome, travel trailer, fifth wheel, or toy hauler, we have them all here at Crabtree. So avoid the madness of crowded cities and hotels this summer by taking your family team on the open road with the perfect RV from Crabtree RV Center. Conveniently located at the junction of I-40 and I-49, family owned and operated since 1950. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Spring has arrived, bringing warmer days, road trips, and unpredictable spring showers. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we'll make sure your vehicle is ready for all your spring adventures. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your ride for whatever the season brings. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart, we keep America rolling.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Holly came from Miami, FLA.
Hitchhiked away across USA. Plucked her eyebrows on the way. Shaved her legs and then he was a she. She says, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. Said, hey honey, take a walk on the wild side. Candy came from out on the island. In the back room she was everybody's darling. But she never lost her head. Even when she was giving head, she says, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
See, after Houston beat Duke, Kenny Smith was remembering about the Clutch City days, in the days of the Rockets championships, and I couldn't help but think of it watching Akeem there, watching them beat Duke and them celebrating afterwards and remembering all those great moments with the back-to-back championships and Big Shot Bob and all of that. And it turns out that Houston Cougar basketball was very, very close to Clutch City in the end, but just could not get the last shot done.
Mario Ellie, Sam Cassell. Those were they had another big, but that's just kind of off the top of my head with you on some of those names right there. And it was Rudy Tomjanovich, right? Wasn't he there?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, Rudy.
That's right.
He's getting it done. I love some Mario Ellie, man. He could fill it up. I think he was number 17, but
now was Kenny Smith wasn't on those teams. No,
yeah, he was.
He was?
Yeah, Kenny Smith was on the Rockets.
He
won.
was. That's what I remembered him talking about. I'm like, well, hold on a minute. You were on those
He was the
teams
Elite
too,
Eight
right?
with North. He never made it past the Elite Eight at North Carolina, I think. Yeah.
And then Drexler made it back for it.
The last one, the very last. So that first championship, Drexler wasn't there, but the second one, I believe Drexler was on that second team.
Big Shot Bob, though. That's right. Otis Thorpe.
Big Shot Bob. Christian, you know what college he went to?
Big Shot Bob. No, I can't. There's no way I could guess it. There's no way.
Crimson Tide.
The only reason I remember it is because it's right here on the basketball reference page.
He played with Latrell Sprewell at Alabama. Think about the talent on that team. You know, Latrell took that 8-seeded Knicks team with Ewing and Larry Johnson, and they got smashed by the Tim Duncan, David Robinson Spurs, but that 8-seeded team got to go to the finals. Yeah.
I will never think Latrell Sprewell without thinking PJ Carlesimo.
The same thing. You'll never think of Carlton Fist without thinking of Nolan Ryan.
I saw something on social media.
Isn't that who he popped in the noggin?
No, it was Robin Ventura.
That's who I mean. You'll never think Robin Ventura without thinking Nolan Ryan.
That's exactly right. There's a few other guys you'd think of with Nolan Ryan, but if you're thinking Ventura, yeah, you'd think him. Who are you putting together there?
I was thinking somebody said Johnny Broome was the best Auburn Tiger ever, and I'm thinking, was he better than Charles Barkley? Was he really better?
Well, no, he's not better than Charles Barkley.
That's what I'm saying.
But he did take him to a Final Four. I don't think Barkley ever made it to a Final Four. Broome's a guy that can't play in the NBA. That homie can't play in the NBA. I mean, bless his heart, it's SEC Player of the Year, and he's not good enough to play in the NBA.
How do you base what greatness is?
I don't know.
Was he better than Chuck while he was at Auburn, or are you just going by the idea that Chuck's a Hall of Famer?
He just said the best Auburn Tiger ever.
Well, Chuck played in the NBA for over. I mean, Broome's not.
Yeah.
You see that? You see them making fun of Chuck on the commercials too about not having the ring. Man, you got to be able to allow. I understand he's had all this money and he's world famous and all the confidence, but for that to be the thing that everybody will always needle you about not having that title. And even in commercials,
and he seems to handle it pretty well.
Well,
he'll fire back, but I'm surprised he hasn't just absolutely blew up and just beat somebody up over that. You know,
that's kind of the James Harden story. Like he's he never even close. You know, when he was a rookie, kind of almost Dan Marino-esque right there, huh? When that Oklahoma City made it, and then he not done a whole lot in the playoffs, and we're done.
Fun stuff today. Enjoy Champions League, Matt. I know you will.
You know, I'm really not a fan of Real Madrid, and they're playing Arsenal. Let's go points.
He's got it figured out. You too, C-Unit. Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out shortly. And we'll do this again tomorrow. Meanwhile, 5:30 airtime for baseball, 6 o'clock first pitch, Hogs and the Red Wolves. We'll talk about that tomorrow as well. For the unit, for Matt, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, get better.
Attention business owners, are you overpaying for your website, dropping thousands up front and shelling out more than $95 a month? Stop the madness! With Modular Orange, you get a custom-built, fully managed website for just $95.